Hi everyone, welcome back. So it's time to check into Trump again. This week it's June 3rd through the 9th. I guess the week before his birthday, kind of. So anyway, sorry for all the eye rolling. I have a new spread that I want to use. I have this, I bought this, let me see if I can hold it up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I bought this cloth and it has all the major arcana in the houses, has a house for each of the majors, and I'm going to use a Kipper in that, and let's see if we can get the best of both worlds out of the tarot and Kipper. So anyway, I'll just bring it over to my table, so hold on, I'll be right back. Well, okay, are all of you feeling as relieved as I am? Well, not entirely, but it's a good start. So, Felonious 45, convicted felon Don the Con. How's your week gonna go? June 3rd through the 9th, 2024. What is coming up for you? And I'll stick it to just keep it stuck to just this week, and I'll read separately on how his sentencing will go on July 11th, because I want to look at his astrology too. So far I could see with his solar arcs that Eris, so solar arcs are like projected midpoints, that's a little beyond advanced progressions. And Eris, E-R-I-S, the planet of kick butt, the feminine power, basically. So here we are talking Stormy Daniels is literally right on his north node. I think hold on, yeah, I have it over here. Hold on. Here it is. Here's what stood out for me was the fact that, so here's Eris on his natal, this is the center is his natal chart, rectified, so it has a different ascendant. All the different hot points are about 7 degrees difference, because this is almost 22 degrees here. His other one, I think, is either 27 or 29 degrees from his birth chart, which I don't believe is correct, for various reasons, but which I'm not going to argue about. I'm done with that. So anyway, Eris here, so he was born with it here in the 8th house, okay? This has to do, the 8th house has to do with sexuality, money, all the darkness that a person can get into if they're working on the dark side. On the light side, it's psychic abilities and all of that, and the transformational power. So what has happened in his lifetime? He hasn't done anything that way, and now we can see with his directed solar arcs on the time. Now this wasn't when Judge Merchant announced it, but this is when the jury finished up, and before they came out and announced it, this is what was happening with his solar arc projections, or directions, I should say. So you can see Uranus in the first house isn't good, and the signs will be different. So we all know right now Uranus is is transiting through the sign of Taurus, so you can't go by that. What we're going by are solar arc projections. It's a completely different method for astrologers. So anyway, and it's for a lifetime. Like you could look at somebody's solar arcs and see the trajectory of the rest of their lifetime. We can see for him he will lose his mind. We can see that major shocks to his identity and sense of self, major delusions. Now this is the karmic opposition here that I wanted to focus on. But to have Neptune go across his moon, his emotional body will be going through some things. He was born very close to an eclipse, so the moon is involved with his nodal axis. But to have Eris up here, because this one won't, it'll stay. This is like the destruction of his fan base, destruction of friends, groups, hopes, wishes, dreams coming in at the 11th house. And then, having Neptune on the other side, it's not good. None of that is good. Yeah. Okay, so, oh goodness, this guy. What is coming in this week? And I'm going to start the cards up here and lay them out rather than the normal way in the center that I usually start here and then build my way out. But with this spread, I feel that I need to start up at the top there. So, how's your next week going to go? We know he's grifting already. He's calling himself a political prisoner. Really? Then why are you walking around free? You don't even have an ankle bracelet on yet. Okay. June 3rd through 9th. Felonious 45. Soon to be considered, I think, well, I could be wrong, but X45. But I need to focus in just this week right there. Okay. God, he's going nowhere fast. Woo! It's going to be a very lonely week. Yeah, step right into that box. Let's nail it shut. Get the vampire remedies out. Woo! Ooh, that's interesting to have her show up there. This has to, well, I'm thinking it's Eileen Cannon, but I could be wrong. Let's see. And there's Melania coming through. Yeah, she's honoring another call. And the world, so with the world card, the gift in the world, oh, that's interesting. Maybe somebody else is going to be flipping on him this week. Oh, and then, of course, almost every week I get this one. Okay. I still am. I'm going to start with his card because those are the Kipper rules. Those are the Grand Tableau and the Lenormand, Kipper, whatever system you're using in cartomancy. You always go with the person you're reading on if their card does show up, and it did in the house of the Hermit. So this brings in loneliness. This brings in hopefully soul searching, but nah, he never does that. So it can't be. That's interesting. I'm wondering if it's more like the Hermit reversed, because we don't have reversed, but the houses can be reversed, so why not? The card can be reversed, why not the houses, I should say. Hermit reverse is imprisonment, okay? It's like being put up in the tower. And then what's up here at the corner? In the house of, Chariot would be the ability to move, and it could be victory and success. No. And it's official in his relationship with Melania. It's done. It's locked up. She's moving on, going somewhere else. Every time I read on them, that comes out, and she's been coming through in the weeklies. She came through last week. I think she came through the week before. I don't know. We'd have to check back, but whew. Okay. Hanged Man, family room, hanged man. I don't know that he would be, what's the word, wearing an ankle bracelet, but with the family room coming through, and all these cards are sneaking up behind him. Actually, I should just start over here. Let's do that. Okay, because these cards are coming up behind him. It's easy to see that his strength is gone. He is gonna have lots of lie downs during the week. I think that the stress of the trial itself will catch up with him, and that's the reason here. So strength, with the coffin coming in the strength house, we're talking weakness. He's stepping into weakness, feeling locked up in his own body for at least this week. And the Wheel of Fortune, House of Wheel of Fortune, and we've got the karmic card here. Oh, God. Anyway, okay, what's sneaking up behind him will be restrictions on the money that he's trying to grift and amass, from, there's some billionaire, can't remember his name. He's doing his best to get all his money from the billionaires, but you know what? How many billionaires are on the planet that would even donate or help him out? There aren't that many billionaires, period. And, well, there's more than ever, right? It's the reason we have billionaires nowadays. Well, that's inflation, but that's neither here nor there. When it comes to him, it's possible that there are some more audio recordings and documents that will bring through big change for him, because this card coming in the House of Death. And remember last week with the tarot, we had the Death card right in the center of the reading, and it did prove to be a big change for him. So coming in at least by Monday or so, there could be something more that comes out, and it has to do with money that it could be the money that he's given to Melania to keep her quiet or something. I don't know. You guys probably, maybe some of you think I'm crazy, but I got in a reading a long time ago that Melania was the one that actually called the FBI and turned Trump in. Way back when, before the the legal search and seizure. So, but anyway, what he's going to be experiencing this week are not good when it comes to Melania. She's always headed in a different direction than him. They're never coming together. They're always headed apart. And she's headed to visiting somewhere else and maybe in another part of the world. She's feeling complete that way. And, of course, she has her own money. Okay, what else is coming up behind his back is, and this could be because it's hanging over Melania, maybe, when it comes to relationships, this is a divorce card here. And so maybe it's not but it could be official, because, we have something official happening, something legal and official happening in the House of Lovers, right? This is Lovers. And Gemini house already, right? That's him. And yeah, it's official. He's going to be locked up someday. I don't think he's going to be able to escape. I think it's going to happen. Even if it's just for a day or two with the gag order, right? But anyway, Melania sees him as, the emperor is broke. Okay? And she knows what's going on. So there's no reason for her to stick around anymore. And this may very well be the death of the relationship. And this could be an official document. Maybe he gets served. Because all of this is sneaking up behind him. He's helpless. There's something going on with his inner circle that he has to surrender to. He can't, he can have spy, it's Neptune rules the hanged man, so I always tend to think of, video and film devices, so recording devices, and this would be the recording device card here in his space. And maybe Melania has spent great money somehow to have cameras put in, and maybe it's all for Putin, and I mean, right? And then he's hopelessly waiting for some kind of justice that he thinks it'll be justice, but no, this is to have this card come through in the House of Justice tells me that he is unbelievably just unable to do anything, and he has to wait. This is a card in. If just look, she's looking out, watching. If you're wondering if your house is bugged or somebody's watching you, and you get these two cards here and this one even, he's being watched. He's being heavily watched, and I believe recorded. Wow, didn't expect for that to come through this week. It's been going on for a long time. And yes, it's official that he's been watched. He's being watched. I think they're watching him heavily so he doesn't try to leave the country. But I also think Melania has had enough of it. And of course, she, it's possible, very, very possible that she's been his handler for their entire relationship. And, but this man being watched. And then to have the Lover's card come through in the Tower house. So this should be people that he is in partnership with and he can trust, right? I mean, the Lover's card is all about success and loyalty. But it's interesting that it's in the Tower house, so his loyalty is blown up. The people who have been loyal to him will be leaving. There's change there. They want to go to, somebody that's a different kind of a star. Maybe something's going to come out about, or be published in a mass way about what he said. I think it first came out about 5 years ago about using the N-word during one of his apprentice shows. And of course it wasn't, that part of it wasn't aired, but they have the recordings from the past. And, there's a certain limit when you get past those 20 years. Like an NDA doesn't last more than 20 years, I guess. That's what I'm hearing. So I wonder if that's what this is about. Because, again, recordings in his inner circle, Hanged Man being ruled by Neptune, this would be film. This would make people look at him in a different way, right? Under different perception. And there's a wealth of that. There's a wealth of that type of information. Wow. Maybe Melania helps them to well, I don't know if she has a part in that or not, but anyway, all of this is coming behind him, and this is his karma. And like I said, to have the Wheel of Fortune, to have this card with all these wheels turning. This is also my card for AI, because one of the core meanings of the Toil and Labor card is automation. So this could be something that is easy to find online now because of AI and because things have been published in the past. And he's going to feel isolated. This would, if that recording, and there's probably more than one, right? If those recordings come out about the about him using the N-word, I think that, well, I don't know. Some people are just stuck no matter what. And it might not affect them if you're, a person of color and you're a Trump fan. Some of them are just they're not going to budge. But some of them will. And he needs every vote he can get. In fact, The only way he could win would be through the Electoral College. Last time he lost the popular vote by, what was it, 3 million votes? I could be wrong on that. But, I mean, literally, he got, just like Obama would say, Trump got shellacked by Biden. Shellacked. So, and even the electoral votes didn't help him. But he still, no matter what, that was the plan all along that he had, was to say, no matter what, just say that he won and it was rigged, and then they had this whole Green Bay sweep, they had this whole plan, and yeah, well, we'll see how that plays out. But it might not happen. I doubt it'll happen before the election. And it's okay, he's going to lose anyway. But so this week, everything sneaking up behind his back has to do with the past, has to do with, and if it doesn't happen this week, it's still coming. It has to do with recordings and documents, and there's a lot. The Great Fortune card is a lot of recordings and documents of him in his, with his cronies, in his inner circle, and he knows that they're out there. And it's only a matter of time, justice ruled by Libra, the bridge, there's the bridge, and he's being watched, and he was watched, and these things will come out. So, okay, up here, let's start up here at the top with the Fool, or the mature man being in the house of Fool. So this would be, this could be any and all older men that are supportive, and this could be any billionaire that would support him financially. And all I can say about that is that they are foolish. Can't really do anything more with it. Now I'll go with the four corners, or no, actually let's do the first three. So with the Ruh-roh card coming through in the house of Magician. So Magician is, somebody who uses their vocal cords, it's ruled by Mercury, uses their speech in order to sometimes be like a used car salesman, sometimes to be, the don the con, right? Basically, if we were to read the Magician reversed, which of course we would for him. Hold on one second. And then having the concern card come through here, or message of concern, sad news is usually what this card is. That brings in the element of the written word and communications that he does not like to get. He really does not like to get it, and it probably has to do with all this that I just spoke of before. The pathway card coming through in the High Priestess house, he can wander back and forth all over the place. He's never going to hook up with his higher self, and he'll never find the voice of his inner higher self. And everybody's like, I can hear you already. Does he have one? Well, everybody does, but his is so shrouded in crap that there's just no way. He can keep looking. Usually what lands, the card after this card, can take about a year or two to come to fruition. So what I can comfortably say is that he's going to be in so many ruh-roh moments for a long time coming, because there are so many people. There's a huge creative Venusian creative energy from the divine feminine who are working diligently to get this guy gone. Okay, now let's do the four corners. So this is somebody under 50, under 55 at the most. This gal here is between 50, 55 and older. This one's younger. If it's not a person, this would be creative wealth. But being in the house of the devil, this is like him, and and he's on top of it up here. I'm seeing that Oh God, I don't want to say anything negatively about Stormy Daniels, but you know what's been done for making a living is kind of a form of bondage. It's I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say anything negative even about a sex worker, because at least it's more honest than what he does. But he wasn't able to keep her hooked, if that's who this is. I'm trying to think of who else it could be. Maybe you guys have some ideas, but she's somebody who's creative and wealthy and likes to live in luxury and likes to be in a lot of pleasure and happiness and joy. It could be a colleague or an associate of his, or it could even be Ivanka. But Ivanka has extricated herself from him. But she could, she's literally the devil's spawn. So this could be Ivanka. And their relationship is dead. So there's that. And her, with her here with the tower, with the loyalty card being in the house of tower, so that both of these cards here are connected to this house gives me the extra meaning that I do think this is Ivanka. And they have had a very karmic relationship and over time she has been working to get away from him. So there's that. But it might be that he has some harsh words for her about not supporting him at the at the trial. I mean, I don't know if it would have changed the jury's mind at all if Ivanka or Melania showed up, but they didn't, not once. So there's that. Okay, I want to focus in on, no, I'm sorry, I was on the corners, but I do want to focus in on this next, though. So Ivanka, I do think it's Ivanka, but it could be any other young woman that he has tried to put in a position of bondage. I think that's the better way to say this. And they're not going to like what's coming up from him, okay? And the way it's going to affect him is to create even more restriction and the movement towards the big house. So there's something there, and I don't know what it is yet, but we'll just have to wait and see. Somebody's going to give it to him. And I think it's a younger, because you can mirror the cards together, I think that it is a younger woman, could be in a foreign country even. But something for sure is going to come full circle here and there'll be a completion because somebody is going to literally give and flip on him. And Melania has some strategy here to have the strategy card come through, or even just thoughts. This could be Melania's thoughts in the house of the Hierophant, and she is a Taurus, okay? Brings in that element of... she has a strategy for some other type of strength or system that she believes in that doesn't look to me like it has anything to do with him. She's learned her lessons and she's done. Melania is done. Okay? She'll give up anything to get away from him. She wants him blocked from her. She does not want him coming near her anymore. Wow. Okay, so now let's do this 9 box here. Okay, so he is having the ruh-roh experiences. He's receiving sad news. He is disappointed. He is in self-pity. He's going through a very painful perception that really needs to happen. He's in crisis. And of course, we know he has a psychological disorder, and it's probably, well, I know it's written up and diagnosed heavily. There, I see very esteemed psychologists and psychiatrists who have, I think it's called, the YouTube channel is called Real American, I think. They have done extensive work on him, and they have diagnosed him. This is his diagnosis. It's going to get worse over time. People are working to put him out. The feminine is working to put him out. Rovember is coming. He's headed towards just have a lie down. On another level, this could be a server of information that somebody has on him, and they're strong, but he's not. His karma's catching up from him, and like I said, there's lots of AI that can be used to get whatever from this server. Could even be him just taking like I said, that long-needed rest. The coffin card is also about, usually it's fatality in Kipper, but endings, major loss and painful loss and endings. You have to let go. You need to do something because you're losing your job if you have a job. This could be, well, it could also be him being contained somehow. So that's interesting. Gag order, anyone? Especially this card coming underneath the Magician House. And again, I do think this is Melania. It's not going well. Happy Father's Day, dude, when that comes. Maybe he'll just get a text. God. And yeah, like I said, everything's blown up when it comes to his loyalty. People are moving on. Interesting. I really do feel like this is something from, because of the way these cards knight together, I think this is something from the server that would hold, or a big, really big ass, or a few hard drives that would hold the apprentice, because of this card. I just intuitively I'm getting that there's those files from the apprentice that is going to come through. Yeah. Okay. So this 9 box here, it shows again like his helplessness, and he's being watched. There's surveillance coming through. People are working on that. These are also people who didn't like him being in charge of them, and they were broke. He never paid them, or he paid them very little, or niggled them down on their invoices, and they're tired of, well, they don't like what's happened to them, and so they're gone and they're ganging up. See, that's the thing is, this dude has a lot of enemies. He has created a lifetime full of enemies, and now it's time to pay the piper. Justice will be served there eventually. And this is his inner circle, his whole family. Yeah. Okay, and then the moon. Okay, so this would be a woman who would hold secrets. She's delusional. This could be Jenny Thomas. This could be Susie Wiles. This could be any woman over 50 who has been a supporter of his. And even that might be changing. The light will shine. There'll be a revelation, right, of meetings from the past, teamwork. Again, all of this. There's team. These cards knight together and giving this teamwork. This could be something coming through with Jack Smith, or any other person in an official capacity who's had the strategy to get him and his cohorts. And again, there could be recorded meetings depositions, all of that. Something big, I think, is going to come out this coming week or soon after. Wow. I think that's all I have. I can't think of anything else to... I'm looking here at... Well, okay. If I want to do a little more knighting, his money situation could come from Putin. There could be some change to create that, but I think the money can be tracked here. That's interesting. Yeah. The change card coming and going. It could be that there's a revelation of the network. Revelation of the network, again, as far as the documents coming and going from Bedminster, the Waltnut, all those boxes. We talked about that last week, but there could be something this week that comes out about that. Interesting. Because with this change card here, this is, things moving in and out of a place, of a residence. And it's also our card of like people coming and going. So this could be all the people that came, had access to his inner circle at Mar-a-Lago, or actually anywhere, Bedminster, anywhere. And then this could even be all the boxes that were moved, that he directed Waltnut to move. So there's a little more about that again, looks like. Wow. And then again, Melania has a strategy to lock herself down away from him. That's easy to see. Covered the knighting there. It's his work, the people who have worked for him that can really nail that coffin shut. And I think, they will if push comes to shove, because they'll save their own butt, because they've watched him bury everybody else. Maybe he's headed to, because we have sad news up here, maybe somebody he cares about crosses over and maybe he goes to a funeral this next week. I don't know. I just have to throw it out there. I have to cover all the bases, right? But other than that, I'll let you guys take a screenshot, and I have so many people here that are my that past or present, and I appreciate you so much. Members at the lessons level, and you guys can read these cards just as good as I can. So anyway, feel free to comment and let me know what you think. Okay, have a wonderful weekend, you guys. Bye.